At first glance, $1,000 does not seem significant. For many people, it represents a small amount of savings, something easily spent or forgotten. But in wealth building, the meaning of money is different. Wealthy individuals do not evaluate money only by its size. They evaluate it by its potential. What can this amount become over time? How can it be multiplied? This shift in perspective changes everything. Because $1,000 is not treated as an endpoint. It is treated as the first unit in a system designed to grow. The first stage is not investing. It is positioning. Finding a way to use that capital to generate additional income. Even small increases matter at this stage. This might involve skills, services, or small opportunities. The goal is simple. Turn 1,000 into slightly more than 1,000, and repeat the process. At this point, the progress appears slow. Growth is measured in small increments, because the results do not look impressive. But this stage is critical. It builds the foundation of the system. Income generation becomes consistent, and financial discipline begins forming. Once the system produces reliable returns, the second stage begins: reinvestment. Instead of spending profits, wealth builders recycle capital back into the system. This increases the size of each cycle and accelerates growth. Now the system starts compounding. Its returns generate new returns. Each cycle becomes larger than the previous one, and the growth curve begins to change. At first, compounding feels slow. The increases are small relative to effort. But over time, the effect becomes visible. Growth begins accelerating. This is where most people misunderstand wealth. They focus on the early stage, where progress is minimal, and they assume the system does not work. But the real transformation happens later, when the system reaches a certain scale. Now each cycle produces meaningful gains, and momentum builds. At this stage, new opportunities appear. Larger investments become possible. More efficient systems can be created, and income sources diversify. Diversification becomes the next layer. Instead of relying on a single source, wealth builders create multiple streams, each contributing to the overall system. This reduces risk and stabilizes income, allowing the system to continue growing even when one part slows down. Over time, the structure becomes powerful. Income feeds investment. Investment feeds growth. Growth feeds more opportunities. This is how small capital transforms, not through one large event, but through repeated cycles of growth. It's building on the previous one. The journey from 1,000 to millions is not linear. It is exponential, slow at the beginning, faster as the system matures. 3 lessons stand out clearly. First, the amount of starting capital matters less than the system. Second, reinvestment is the engine of growth. And third, patience allows compounding to work. The surprising truth is that many people can start this process, but very few continue long enough, because the early stages test discipline. Discipline is often underestimated. The question is not whether $1,000 is enough. The question is whether the system built around it is strong. Because once the system works, the starting number becomes less important. And that is how wealth is quietly built. If you want more deep explanations about money systems, wealth building, and financial strategies, explore more videos on Wealth Finance 61. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments.